Hey folks, how's it all going? So, today I'm actually managing to stream in 4 places at once. Actually, got things working over at LiveSpace. So, on LiveSpace, YouTube, Kick, and the traditional Twitch. So, probably just going to be about an hour today. Playing some more R-Type Leo as I've been. Kind of starting to get a little serious about trying to 1cc this. So, you'll probably see a fair bit of this on the stream as, the next week or two goes by at least. Yes, well, I've been really enjoying it, so. Well, that's a lot of what I've been playing on my MiSTer, at least. This on MiSTer and Final Soldier on Analog Pocket. I might do a little of that too at some point, but not today. Today, he's going to do about an hour of R-Type Leo, because at the end of that hour I have a job interview which will likely occur. Tomorrow I may not have time to stream because I'm having a bit of a problem with my furnace, so I've got a furnace repairman coming in, as well as having a pile of interviews. I've got at least 2, maybe 3 interviews going to happen tomorrow. I'm already getting killed. Paying too much attention to what I'm talking about and not enough to how I'm playing. Actually, yeah, we're just gonna reset this one. Don't want to lose a life that quick. Yeah, playing this via MiSTer FPGA for anyone who's unaware. On my homemade mix box. Oh yeah, just a good relaxing shmup. trying level 1 for you. It is what it is.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
But yeah, if anybody has any, curiosities about the game or, well, really about just about anything retro gaming or input devices or shmups in general, I'm always willing to chat with folks if they have anything they want to talk about. And, well, happen to know a lot of things and do a lot of things. Knowing that that was a terrible time. Take a hit. Yeah, reset time. But yeah, I do hope everybody's having a good day today. Whatever it is you're doing out there on a Monday. And yeah, I have a ridiculous amount of monitors in my setup, and I actually have each different chat on a different monitor. It's kind of hilarious. There we go, through level 1.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
But yeah, this has probably been one of my very favorite things on MiSTer that I can't play easily other than via MiSTer and MAME. most of the other stuff, well, this and Battle by Crate has been probably the best two for that. Because for anyone who's, actually read my listing of my crazy setup, I've got a setup for just about any home system. But this never came home. This and Battle of the Crate have only come home in any way recently, and even then it's pretty limited. It's like this, the only other way to play this, the only way to play this at home is via, I believe, one of the Taito mini egret cabinets. There we go. Taken down again. Well, we'll try continuing this time. Later in the game anyway, and the recovery isn't that bad. As soon as I get speed and fully recovered. Even without the speed, I can still usually be just fine.
Three, two, one. Let's go.
There's that speed. Full power. Definitely on me. Yeah, that doesn't work strategically. Switch, not the red. Oh well, this is certainly usable during the levels. Not as good with the boss. Certainly works okay in level. Yep, not playing that great today. That's alright though. Guess I got one advantage. The boss dies in next to no time with that, if I, actually dodge the fire trail. Oh well, not playing the greatest today, but that's okay. Got a lot on my mind. Been a bit of a fun day here at the house. My furnace is having some kind of issue. I doubt it's anything major. It just won't ignite. So yeah, it's probably some kind of minor repair that it needs, but we'll see. repairman's going to come in tomorrow. In the meantime, you know, I do have a few electric heaters that I've got going, so it'll keep it mostly to a decent temp. It isn't that crazily cold, and with the electric heaters, it's pretty much good enough. Like, down where I'm playing, I know it's just fine. It's some of the rest of the house that's not quite as warm as it normally is.
Three, two, one. Let's go.
But yeah, in general, if you're a retro person and you don't have yourself a MiSTer FPGA setup, definitely highly recommended. If you want to learn anything about it, feel free to ask. In short, it does absolutely perfect simulation of everything up to the PlayStation, Saturn, and 64 generation. It doesn't have every single arcade game, but it has a lot of the arcade games from those eras. And pretty much every single home system of anything that era and prior. That was entirely my own fault. I just flew into the obstacle. Oh well, I'm back to full power anyway. Or at least mostly full. I'm still short of speed and missile, but still got full normal gun.
Three, two, one. Let's go.
Speed, now I'm just need missile to have full power-ups. Yeah, it's one thing I do like about this game is the lack of Gradius syndrome. It is a power-based game, but as long as you get a few power-ups, you're usually good. Really, the minimum is 2 colored power-ups, so you actually have a colored weapon. Everything else is optional. Got through the second stage, I guess. Well, third stage. That was 3.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Still don't think I've gotten through 4 yet, at least not on stream. This is only my second time seeing this boss. Because yeah, I don't credit spam through games. If I'm gonna play a shmup, I learn to 1cc it the real way. Starting with 1 credit.
Let's go.
Yeah, if you got any questions, comments, or anything you want to talk about, feel free. I'm up for just about anything, at least for the next half hour. Probably only going to be here till 5, well 5 Eastern, so half hour. I got a job interview at that point, which could come back for about an hour after if I really wanted to, but probably gonna most likely be back possibly late afternoon on Tuesday, possibly a little longer on Wednesday, I don't know for sure. Starting to get a lot of interviews pop up, which is nice. You're enjoying the game though. Always one of my weird faves of games that you have never got a good home for, or any home port. Yeah, this one's we're at home port. In a day when lots of games like this were getting ported to Saturn and PlayStation. Let me tell you, the Saturn and PlayStation were a really good era for cool advanced shmups. The 16-bit era, the beginning of the 32-bit era, and then after that, the next really, then we got the Dreamcast, which was really good. PS2 was okay, but PS2 is okay for everything. And then the next one, the
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yep, and in the 16-bit era, it was mostly Mega Drive and PC Engine, not so much that Super Famicom / Super Nintendo. It had a few good shmups, it had a few really good shmups, but it only had a few. Whereas there's way more good ones on Mega Drive and PC Engine, which nearly competed evenly. Probably going to give the edge to PC Engine by a little, but not by much. They both had just a ton of good stuff. Has killed me a few times this session, and it usually wasn't before. I know what I'm doing different, but I'm getting more fire there, because I am getting more enemy fire there than I was before, and I'm wondering why. Wondering what's a little different about this play session. Because I know the game hasn't changed, so it's gotta be how I'm playing it, you know? But that's how it is sometimes with shmup. Sometimes you do something that's just a little different, and you don't even realize what's different about it, end up going down from it. At that time I at least realized what I did, but yeah.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
But yeah, I'm not playing the best today, but it's getting me more practice. The more I do, the better I'll get over time. Doesn't mean I'm going to be as good at today as I was yesterday, though. boxed myself in with that. Shouldn't have popped that. My own fault though.
Three, two, one. Let's go. Three, two, one. Let's go.
Did not answer it so well. Probably isn't too terrible. Right into that.
Let's go. Three, two, one. Let's go.
Looks like time to refill the old e-cig, which is fine. Probably got one more credit in me before we call it a stream, maybe two. Probably only one though. But at the very least, I'm probably getting a lot more good footage for, you know, building a video out of at some point. That's one of the things I plan on doing is actually, you know, making some videos for the YouTube channel at some point. Maybe even later this week, but not right now. Now I'm just having fun and playing some games. And if somebody wants to watch, great. If nobody wants to watch, that's fine too. I'm just having a good time. Hey, Mutto, too nice to see ya. Yeah, I'm taking a little bit of a break and refilling the e-cig, but I'll be popping into probably at least one more credit of this, maybe two, but then I've got a job interview at 5. So I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so, doing one more round of R-Type Leo. If you wonder anything about R-Type Leo, feel free to ask. As well, been playing it a while, and it's a bit of a fun and weird one, and never made it home in any way. This is arcade only, playing it via MiSTer FPGA.
Let's go.
Pretty much the only R-Type that never made it home. Every other R-Type had very, very popular ports. Not this one. And well, this one's a lot weird as R-Types go. A lot closer to a traditional shmup. Whereas R-Type always had that interesting, very defensive play style thanks to the force pod. Figuring out how to position your force pod to get through various things. Whereas this, instead of the one force pod in front, you've got two that you have a lot less control over that mostly sit above and below your ship. They do block shots like the force pod from the mainline R-Type games. And the one other thing they do, rather than repositioning, is go out in a seeking attack, which looks like that. You can only do the seeking attack so often. The little bar on the bottom is about how much seeking attack you have. You can only do it for a short time, and then they don't actually attack, and you have to pull them back and let it recharge so you can do it again. And due partially to the ship's capabilities, but also to the level design, it's a much quicker, much more aggressive game than other R-Type games tend to be. You do know about Leo, cool. Oh yeah, R-Type Leo is probably my favorite thing on the M92 core, mostly because there's no other good way to play it. Like the other stuff, you have a mildly better version of something that there's a good home port of for the most part, right? But Leo, you just got no better way to play it. Nice to see another MiSTer aficionado around. Sadly, I don't think we have M92 on Analog Pocket yet. I actually own both. I own 2 MiSTers and an Analog Pocket. But yeah, Leo has been for me by far the standout of the M92 core. Mostly because, like I said, no other way to play it.
3, 2, 1.
Or at least no other good way. Because, MAME exists. But outside of MAME, and or finding an arcade that actually has a cabinet, which is not likely. Oh, already dying. Oh well. Concentrating on my conversation too much. As long as everybody's having a good time though, and I certainly am, so. And people don't mind that I don't play perfectly some of the times, especially when chatting. I'm just having a good time. Maybe one of these days I'll get to the point where I'm going to be seeing it, but not yet. Certainly still in the learning stages of that journey. Yeah, the MiSTer is a wonderful device for shmuppers. Like, there are so many good shmups on MiSTer. Here I'm dying again. But yeah, there are so many good shmups on MiSTer. And this has become one of my favorite if I actually want to play a Hori that day. Because most of the really good ones are vertical shmups. Yeah, there's, you know, dozens of really good verticals. And a few really good Horis, and most of them say R-Type on them. Oh, there's a ton of beautiful arcade cores on it. I mean, you've got all the good Capcom ones. So you've got 1943 and the whole 19XX series. Varth, if you know what that is, which, if you're unfamiliar, is sort of a... It's very like the 19XX series, except that it's a little more futuristic. Image Fight's pretty cool on this same core. Yeah, it's one of the other ones, although, you know, that one did get some good ports. You can play Image Fight in a good way on a lot of home systems, but you can also play the actual arcade on this, and it's pretty good in the actual arcade. But if you're looking for standout shmups, I mean, we've got Truxton and Truxton 2, pretty great. Expensive on PS1. Yeah, it is expensive for the PS1 port, and everything on TurboGrafx is expensive. The cheapest way to play it, if you wanted to actually buy a home port, would probably be to buy the PC Engine port on PC Engine, if you happen to have a PC Engine, which I certainly do. Beautiful system if you're into shmups. But yeah, there's all kinds of good ones. Yeah, the whole 19XX series is pretty fun, and if you want more modern stuff, all that good stuff out of the Rising core, Battle Garega, Battle Betrayed, Sorcerer Striker, Kingdom Grand Prix, and Diamond Who if you want the third game in that series, but that's actually over on the CPS2 core, along with Varth. UN Squadron for another decent Hori. I don't like it as well as this, but it's decent, you know? But yeah, there's so many great shmups on MiSTer. And then, of course, there's the Dodonpachi core with the Dodonpachi, but the one I play the most out of that core is Dangan Fever on. Because, well, there's nothing else like Dangan Fever on. It's just such an interesting, weird game. Bullet Hell designed caravan shmup? What? Well, yeah, that's what it is. If you know what those terms mean. Because most of the more modern Danmaku games are, you know, they follow typical Cave Danmaku design. This one, although it's by Cave, it's a caravan shmup, which, if you are unfamiliar with what that means that the timing of it is based on destroying enemy groups more than on just, you know, built-in scrolling speed or anything. And that gives it a very different feel. It's also extremely fast. Your ship moves extremely fast. Highly suggest some Dangan Fever if you want something different. And if you want something, you know, a little less different, S-Braid is also great. It's another on the Cave core. Hot Dog Storm's alright. It's not their best, but if you want more, it's certainly worth your time. Zero Wing's a lot better than the memes give it credit for. It's actually a pretty good shmup if you want another good Hori. That's another one we've got. And then, of course, we recently got Nemesis, better known as Gradius. Although I'm really looking forward to getting the sequel to that, because the home ports of it weren't as good. Although we do actually have the Saturn home ports on it. Hot Dog Storm is on MiSTer only if you pay for the beta version of the Dodonpachi core. It is the one game that is you know, still beta exclusive in that core, because it is the same core. It's Cave 68K. But yeah, it's the only thing that's still in beta on that core. We haven't actually heard from the creator of that core in like probably almost a year and a half now. It's been a long time since he's actually posted anything. But the core's pretty good, so, you know, It's not like it really needs updates or anything, other than hot dog store going arm going public. But yeah, we literally haven't heard from the creator of that core in, a year. So, and it's almost to that point where I might consider handing you the MRA on the sly, because there's no other way to get it and play it right now. It does work decent, like everything else in the cave core. But yeah, Battle by Crate is another of the ones I've probably played the most out of the good shmups on MiSTer. It's always been one of my favorites, and another one like this that there's just no good way to play it other than MiSTer. It never got any home ports until the, I think it's like on the Taito E-Grid. That's, no mini arcade thing you can buy, but it never had a home port before that at all. And I like the Crate a lot better than Garega, if only because you can actually see the dang bullets. Because it is the sequel to Battle Garega. And the big difference between it and Garega, for me anyway, is mostly the fact that you can see the dang bullets. This is probably going to be my last round of this one tonight. But, I've gotten back into streaming pretty regularly. I've actually been streaming pretty much every afternoon, usually, sometime around 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern times, mind you. So I usually start sometime around 2 or 3 p.m. and finish anywhere between 4 and 6. Today's a little bit of a short stream because I've got a job interview that's going to get in the way of the end of my normal streaming time. Because one of the reasons I've been streaming so much more is that, well, I'm currently out of work. But that gives me a nice time to stream in the afternoons. Unless I have job interviews. The Garega on Arcade Archive PS4, it was a good one, and they recolored the bullets for the PS4 version. It's much better to play there. The original arcade, the bullets are nearly invisible. Well, half of them. You got half of them, which are the nice round ones that are this nice orange. They're okay. But the straight ones in the original arcade, they're almost the same color as the background. You can barely see the outline of them, and they're nearly invisible. You can play the bullets the way they looked on the PCB, and I don't recommend it because they're invisible. Yeah, purple bullets sort of things. That's one of the main things that makes that purchase worth a purchase. And let me tell you, Garega's a wonderful game, and that is probably the best way to play it these days. That PS4 port rather than the original, because that way you can see the bullets. But yeah, even with the bullets as their quote-unquote default, they're not quite as invisible as they are on the original PCB. But yeah, it's a beautiful game, and that port is the best way to play it, right? Like a lot of other stuff, playing the original is more what I would recommend, especially stuff that was on like Dreamcast and stuff, right? I don't find Batrider's bullets hard to see. I actually find Batrider to be quite visible compared to Garega. Like, I find Batrider to be, another of the games that I play a lot on this, actually. Playing it via MiSTer, and I love me some Batrider. That's actually one of the other things I've been playing the most lately here. Like that and R-Type Leo have probably actually been the two that have gotten the most stream time. Although what I often do when I'm just kind of more relaxing is I just play one credit each of a pile of the shmups on MiSTer, mostly the arcade ones. Occasionally I'll dip into especially the PC Engine's console library, but mostly arcade stuff, and I'll often just do, one credit each of this and this and this. But I've been on kind of an R-Type Leo kick lately. I'm kind of starting to work towards learning to 1cc that one. So the last 3 days have had an inordinate amount of R-Type Leo. But it's been great seeing you. Like I said, though, I've got a job interview to get to, so I've got to find somebody to send you to. Let's see who's a going of the people I know. And now for something completely different. I'm going to send this raid off to go see Argic. Argic's currently playing him some Vampire Survivors. He isn't normally a shmups guy, but he plays mostly Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. But he's someone I really enjoy watching, and that's where we're going to send our raid today. Because, like I said, I've enjoyed watching him for years, and he's at least playing something sort of shmup-esque in Vampire Survivors, so it's even better than normal for me to send him a raid, huh? But yeah, I'll probably be back tomorrow in the afternoon sometime, and probably, most afternoons, including weekends. I've been doing every day. Like, I've actually done a stream of at least an hour for, I think, the last 6 days in a row now. Have a great one.